This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Comedian Kelsey Cook is bringing a night of laughs to the Fitzgerald Theater October 4th. Catch one of two shows, including a special taping. Tickets are available now. Get the full details at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Sorry, Tim. There was a delay there texting a client and trying to get some commercial copy information. I'm always working. I've got a lot of different lines in the water, tentacles reaching here or there and everywhere. Common intent to be another hour to go. Tomorrow we start late. PJ Flex Show, 12 noon to 1. The legendary Mark Rosen will join us at 2 o'clock. We look forward to that. Still have that giveaway. A little bit later today, we're going to give away a pair of tickets to the University of St. Thomas hockey team takes on North Dakota. That game is October 12th. We'll give away those tickets a little bit later. Now, Teneby, this was how many preseason games have the Wild played? Now, they started against Winnipeg, and what happened there?
I think they have two more.
And what have they played to this point?
I think they played four.
Okay. Which one was the 5-2 loss to the Stars? Is that 2 games ago or 3 games ago?
Yes, that wasn't last night, and that wasn't the first game.
So it must have been the second. Because I believe we played the Dallas Stars and lost.
Yeah, 2 games ago.
Okay.
Well, they played 2 games against the Stars, but
okay.
3-2 overtime loss and a 5-2 loss last Thursday.
Okay, last Thursday we lose 5-2. I'm looking at the box score. And the question I would ask you, Teneby, is what if the Wild get out to a 2-0 lead in that game?
All right.
And then what would your response have been, or Kevin Gore's response?
I think they should keep it scoreless for as long as possible.
I think he might be right, because we were up 2-0, but the Stars scored 1 in the second and 4 in the third and beat us 5-2.
Yeah.
Why didn't we keep that game scoreless? Why don't they listen to Gore?
They made a mistake.
Your second star of that game was Marco Rossi.
He had a pair of goals in that game.
Is he the guy? Here's a guy. Is he the guy we didn't want to pay a lot of money to, and he wanted more than we thought? We didn't know what to do. We ended up signing him.
We had a contract impasse for a while, yeah.
Sounds like he's worth every penny. Now, I know it's just preseason. Sounds like he's worth every penny to me.
It's a little early.
You follow the Wild much more closely than I do. Well, first of all, you've said his name wrong. It's Rossi.
Rossi.
I'm just going by, this probably isn't the best way to do it, by talking to people and reading things and what he brings to the club and what he's done and what else is on the roster. I thought it was a no-brainer to bring. I think he's a good player. Isn't he a good player? Is he just
He's a quality player.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the price you got him for, yes, I would bring him back.
Okay.
At the price he was asking for, he was asking for like Matt Boldy money.
Okay.
I ain't putting him on Matt Boldy's level.
Okay. But then
so I'm fine with the way the Wild handled it. I think the dollar amount they got for him, 3 years, $5 million a year, I think that's a very reasonable contract from the Wild standpoint.
Yeah. We probably asked you this question, but I want to ask you again. Let's say that would have been unacceptable to him. Would they have parted ways? And what would we have done? What would we have, the old, you can't find somebody that's better question asked about coaches and manager. What would we have done, do you think? Was the answer on the roster itself? Was it in the minors, or would we have to have gone out and acquired somebody?
Well, I think that's why, there were trade rumors revolving him. There were rumors earlier in the summer that the Wild were shopping him. And a lot of the returns, allegedly, this is reportedly, or I don't even know if I would say reportedly. I would just say from a rumor standpoint, I can't confirm any of this. But the rumors were that there were teams that made offers for Rossi, but they were always on with future draft picks in mind, right? It was Rossi to Vancouver for a first-round pick. And I think Bill Guerin, as much as you don't want to give Marco Rossi a huge contract, you also don't want to just lose him and throw a first-round pick there, because now in the short term, you're now taking a step back. And given you got Kirill Kaprizov in his prime and wanting to sign him, this is not the time to take a step back. You got to keep trending. Like, this is your time to attack here a little bit and be more than just a first-round knockout team. So that's why I think ultimately the Wild ended up not trading him, because they couldn't get another NHLer in return for him. They could only get futures in return. Now, they still could have just played out the year. Rossi was still under contract as like a restricted free agent for this year. But then, you could then risk losing him for nothing if he wanted to play the whole thing out. But in Rossi's case, like you take your guaranteed $15 million.
Sure.
And get it while you can. And you're still going to be, by the time this contract's over, he'll be what? I'm assuming, is he 23 now? 26-ish years old. You're still going to have a chance for a huge payday if you perform over the next 3 years. So I get why Rossi kind of backed down a little bit and said, let's just do this bridge deal here.
In regards to the name you mentioned momentarily,
Kaprizov.
The last time we talked about Kirill, I think, was Thursday, and Guerin had nothing to say. Leipold had nothing to say.
He had nothing to say.
He just was kind of like, "Oh, we're not sure. We'd love to have him." I think the last thing we heard from Kirill was that little 4-minute soundbite about a week and a half ago, where he said, "What's the hurry? I'm under contract for another year." Have we heard anything since Thursday, the last time we talked? Has there been any
radio silence?
Complete
Haven't
silence.
heard anything. We're 10 days away from the regular season. Now, I'm assuming that's going to be kind of the deadline. I think it would be a mistake by the Wild to just go into the season risking, a potential Kaprizov injury or risking losing him for nothing. Even if you just decided, hey, we'll play with him, and then before the trade deadline, we could still get something for him. Given his injury history, I don't know if I would make that risk. So, we're 10 days away. Like, it's getting to the point now where, to me, 3 days from now, you're a week away from the regular season and nothing's happened and he hasn't signed a contract. You got to start looking elsewhere at some point, in my opinion.
When you say looking elsewhere, you talk about
trading him.
But he was going to be our McDavid. He was going to be our...
I would love for him to be that. But if he's not going to sign a contract before the year's over, at some point, you got to start looking elsewhere and seeing what else is out there. And maybe they have, but there haven't been any reports of that.
Because after this year, he becomes a full-fledged free agent to go wherever he wants.
Lose him for nothing.
And they lose him for nothing.
Now, technically, you would have that, that cap space. You'd have a lot more cap space, clearly. So you could use that money elsewhere, but you're not finding a Kaprizov out there.
Like the Vikings didn't restock that offensive line and restock the inside of that defensive line. Yeah.
You ain't finding a Kaprizov out on the open market. Well, other teams might, I guess.
Well, there's that. Tennis guy says, I have a Jolly Green Giant question. With his injury history and lack of ever winning a playoff series, why does Kirill,
Kaprizov,
the Thrill, think he should be paid so highly? Love the Grums. I'm Tennis guy. I guess because he can think that way, right? That's it.
Because he's a top 10 player in the National Hockey League. That's why. I don't like throwing all playoff series losses on one player. That's not how it works in the sport of hockey. I mean, Connor McDavid has received those same arguments against him over the years. And every single GM in the league would pay a king's ransom for Connor McDavid.
Has McDavid ever won the whole thing?
No. He's gotten to the finals
so they've never
a couple times in a row here.
Yeah.
But it takes more than one guy to win a Stanley Cup.
Now, here's the other
thing is it's actually more on the Wild that they haven't surrounded Kaprizov with, and a lot of that is Parise Suter stuff holding them back here financially for a long time. That's what's frustrating, is you finally are going to have some financial flexibility to help him out, and we don't have him locked up yet.
And then the other thing is, what could you garner for him? What could you get for him if you decided to trade for him? Especially if it goes longer, teams realize you need to get rid of him to get something. So what could you even expect to get? Would teams be falling over themselves? You'd be going to highest bidder, or you're going, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're getting 3 number ones and 3 starting players. I don't know how it works.
Well, it would be a hard trade to pull off because, one, Kirill Kaprizov has a no-move clause. So any trade has to be approved by him. You're only approving a trade if the other team knows that a contract is in place. And that team that you are trading with also has to have the amount of assets needed to acquire Kaprizov plus the cap space.
Yeah.
Right? So it's mostly like a team's going to have like a all-star level forward that they are shipping back in return plus draft picks. And so to get all of that to come together at once is very challenging. That's why I'm saying I think it's hard to just a day before the regular season try to pull off a trade with somebody. This is a complicated trade.
It seems
if
like
it happens.
It seems like it's the proverbial sticky wicket. We'll break. We'll come back with more. It's the Common Man program along with Tennessee here on The Fan.
The Fan and 2 men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword win at KFAN.com. Right now, for your shot at winning, that keyword is win. Enter it now at KFAN.com. KFAN welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra for 2 amazing shows at Target Center on December 28th at 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Get complete show details, including a link to buy tickets at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Getting ripped.
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
Sure.
Can I bounce it off you? I didn't prep you for this. Funny. This is Eric from Edina. Funny. Tanner won't use playoff success as a benchmark to critique Kirill, but he's quick to throw that out when ripping quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins. Well, what's your response?
I don't ever remember my Kirk Cousins stance on that, but I would say, I hate to break it to the listener, the quarterback position is the most important position in all the sports.
You know how we knew that?
Notorious
DIG told us that.
So a quarterback has a much greater influence on a football game than one hockey player has on a hockey game.
Where's the...
And if there was a hockey player that would have that type of influence, it is your goaltender.
This probably isn't really what I wanted, but it works for now. I probably should have said, what do you think of that?
And Kirill Kaprizov's on the ice 1/3 of an NHL game.
Mark Craig is NFL writer for Fish Wrap Factory.
And I should say, that doesn't mean Kirill can't be criticized.
Right.
I'm just saying, if that's your take, he says, well, he hasn't won a playoff game. It's the same thing like I've defended Kevin O'Connell in that same regard. People love to do well, he hasn't won a playoff game. Well, he won a Super Bowl in his previous stop. And you still got to have the talent as a coach. A coach can only do so much. You still got to be able to block. You got to be able to tackle. You got to be able to throw. You got to be able to catch. You got to be able to run.
Here's another one for you. Ask Tennessee how feasible it would be to do a trade for Leon Draisaitl. I admit I'm not a great hockey mind, but I think he plays center for the Oilers, which is a spot the Wild have coveted for as long as I can remember. As even if the Oilers would want to split up him and McDavid, trading for prospects does little for a fan base that wants to see the squad get out of the first round, potentially further. You have to get a star-level player or stars in return. Is that what's your response to Draisaitl for Kirill or a player of some ilk? Somebody, not just draft picks and prospects, but like, one of those blockbusters where, a really, really good player for another really, really good player.
I mean, Draisaitl hasn't just been playing center there. He's been moved all over the place. Sometimes they actually pair him with McDavid. I don't know why the Oilers would do it. They've gone to 2 straight Cup finals with a dynamic duo in Draisaitl and McDavid. And frankly, Kaprizov's going to cost more money than what Draisaitl's making. So now you would even make it harder against your salary cap. I mean, it's already going to be hard enough in Edmonton with Draisaitl making $14 million and whatever McDavid's about to make. Now you add even a couple more million a year on top of that to get Kaprizov. Now, if that's the type of player you can get in return for Kaprizov, sure. If you had to trade Kaprizov and get that level of player, I would be pretty happy with that. I don't know if we're getting to that level of player.
You're getting ripped again.
Yeah.
The Jolly Green Giant comparing Kaprizov to McDavid falls flat. He's led his team to 9 series wins in the last 4 years, a conference final in 2 cup finals the last 3. Your best players need to will their teams to victory. That's what superstars do. The Jolly Green Giant sounds like a Polat pocket protector. And then it's signed, get Tenna going. Get Tenna going.
Well, I think they're misunderstanding the McDavid comp. I said early in McDavid's career, he had that same knock against him. So you're actually proving, you're actually now proving my point that they have stuck with him, and now they haven't won the whole thing yet, but they are now Stanley Cup contenders every year because, McDavid had to learn what it's like to play in a playoff series. And I still think to a certain extent Kaprizov's at that point, and I also say, well, Kaprizov ain't McDavid, so to expect him to perform at that level, I think is foolish. And let's face it, if you've watched Wild Hockey, they don't have enough around Kaprizov. That's the deal. We finally have our superstar, which is why we'd be so upset if he left us, because we waited a long time to get to this point where we had a guy like Kaprizov. But he doesn't have the proper guys around him.
Time to hear about a hyped-up Wild team and how this is the year for the next 7 months and then get bounced in round 1. That sounds negative. I think we've heard that before in this town. We've been very excited about the upcoming season. We think we got a lot of pieces. And you know what? There have been...
I think this Kaprizov stuff has put a damper on a lot of that excitement. I don't think Wild fans are excited right now.
I get my ears confused. Not my ears, my years. Didn't we come out of the gates fast last year?
Yes.
I mean, we were like the best
through
record in hockey through December.
They were second best in the West.
Yeah. And then what happened? I don't recall.
Kaprizov got hurt.
He got hurt, and then
Joel Eriksson got hurt.
And then it all fell apart.
Yes. Well, they became pretty mediocre for a while.
Yeah.
We didn't even get Kaprizov back until towards the end of the season. Yeah, remember, he only had a couple games.
Right. And we were wondering if he was even going to be bothered coming back.
If you want me to put on the Green Giant costume,
go ahead, put it on
for Halloween. I could tell you our ideal. Here's our trek to the Cup. Okay, I would say Kaprizov resigns. He's under contract. To your point, through mid-December last year, they had the second best record in the Western Conference. If that core healthy performed like that again and stayed healthy, and then now at trade deadline time, for the first time in a long time, we are going to have the financial flexibility where we can go out and get a top 6 forward, like a Tage Thompson from Buffalo, to add to your roster. And all of a sudden, and I could even say last year, even though they lost to Vegas in the first round, that's the best they performed in the playoffs in a long time. That wasn't we were overwhelmed by this team and we have no shot against this type of team. They played well for the most part in that playoff series and could have won that playoff series. So to me, that felt like they had taken another step, even though they lost. So I could put all that together and go, here's your way of this team. Yeah, and maybe Zeev Bouillon, who was an absolute stud in college, maybe he lights it up for your power play all of a sudden, leading that power play. You have a legit power play defenseman as kind of your point guard.
And we can build this thing together, standing strong forever.
So I can Green Giant it.
And then when is the finals? That usually in June?
We wouldn't know, but yeah, mid-June.
Mid-June, and all of a sudden we start hearing
early mid-June,
the dulcet tones of Kenny Rogers.
That would be great.
When you put your heart in it. We'll have to wait and see. Let's take a break, come back, talk some more Vikings. And there was a really good quarterback performance by a youngster yesterday, and it's like, well, I wish we could see that here. We'll get to that. Well, I guess we did for 1 quarter out of 8. We'll take a break, come back with one more segment to go. It's the Common Man program on the Fan. Double 13, 14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be. You've been waiting for it all day long. If you're a college hockey fan, get ready and pick up your phone. We've got your tickets to see the University of St. Thomas face off against Nodak October 12th. It's your chance to experience the action live from Grand Casino Arena. Be the 11th caller right now at 1-800-320-5326. 1-800-320-5326. If you are the 11th caller, you'll be a winner from all of us here at the Fan. So Tenneby will give away those tickets, and everything will be Jake. You probably never heard the phrase unless you watched the movie The Sting. I started watching it with Robert Redford, who just passed away, Academy Award-winning actor. He starred in a movie called The Sting, 1973. Great movie. I know it's boomer-type stuff, but if you've never seen it, it's great. It's about con artists, and it's really, really good, and I think you'd really enjoy it. Anyway, when the character played by Robert Redford shows up somewhere at it's like an illegal gambling. It's a House of Ill Repute. It's an illegal gambling operation. And he comes in and he's got the money they got in, and they scam some guy out of his money. And he comes in with the money and he goes, "Yeah, we got it all. Everything's Jake." And to this day, I just assumed everything, when you say everything's Jake, it means everything's cool. So we might, and I was reminded of it because I said to Deuce, we should watch this movie. We started watching, and then why did we duck out? Something else came up. I think maybe it was I don't remember. We ducked out of that. We went away from The Sting. We're gonna, and that's a $3.99 rental we can't get back because I didn't want to buy the movie for $14.99. So I rented it for $3.99. Now I'm gonna have to pay another $3.99. That's $8. I should have just bought it now. I'm gonna ask him to be that if he ever buys movies, because you can buy them or rent them either. I've never purchased a movie. I'm not one of those that watches movies over and over and over again. There are some movies that I don't mind seeing. Wizard of Oz, I've seen a couple 13, 1400, 100 times. I've seen The Godfather a handful of times. But there's not a lot of movies where I think I'm going to say, I want to watch that again. But I guess that's no different than an album, right? You buy a CD. Well, I guess now it'd be just, they've gone back to vinyl now, but you can stream it, you can buy it digitally, whatever. I don't know how it works anymore now. But my point is, you buy that and play it over and over again. Ted, have you ever done that? Have you ever gone to rent a movie on your television set, like on Netflix or something, and then it also gives you the option to purchase the movie? Buy it for $14.99 or rent it for $3.99. Have you ever purchased a movie via like Netflix and paid them the $15?
Not on Netflix. At Netflix, we have a subscription too, so anything that's on Netflix. But, like your Amazons.
Right,
and
that's what I meant.
Yeah, your Apple TV.
Have you bought movies?
We have bought a couple, yes.
Okay.
Well, because, a lot of it, especially with kids, they're more likely to watch those movies over and over again.
Oh, trust me.
I mean, the rentals are kind of expensive. Yeah, so someone's like, well, it's just worth it. Just buy it then.
The rental was $3.99. The movie itself was $14.99 if you wanted to buy it. I rented it for $3. It was The Sting. I wanted to show Deuce it. We got 10 or 15 minutes into it, and we got sidetracked for some reason. So then you get it for 2 days.
You get like 48 hours, yeah.
We ducked out of it, went back to it. So now it's like, well, if I rent it again, it's another $3.99. I should have bought it. because I'm going to be $7 into it. No, $8 into it. And I could have bought it for about 15. I think I erred there, but that's another story in itself. So yesterday, Deuce and I are rubing it up, right? We're watching NFL. We have the main TV on, and we can go to 2 games on that, right? Which is the click of, the previous button, right? Then we've got his TV from college, and we prop that up on a couple of chairs. We have
Vikings defensive backs?
First, I'll give you this. And then I'm going to give you...
it was just one game. We got unlucky. We're going to come back at Cleveland.
So we've got him propped up on a couple of bar stools from downstairs. We got his TV. And then we go to YouTube TV, Sunday Ticket, and we've got... You can do it in 4s. So we got 6 games we're going on, and we're just
lucky.
Thinking, it's just cool. We're doing this and that and the other thing. Then I get a text from baby brother Peter at 4 o'clock sharp. And all it says is, don't look now, USA, USA. So I'm going, no. There's no way the United States Ryder Cup team, Friday and Saturday, an embarrassment.
Bloodbath.
Just an embarrassment. Just awful, awful. Now, I turn it. It's like 13-10 or 13-11. They're on the verge, the precipice of... I don't know if that would have been the greatest comeback in the history of Ryder Cup, but if it wasn't,
seems like it would have
to have been, or at least the second best or whatever, tied for the greatest ever. So I decided, me, I've stated unequivocal. I've stated on a number of occasions without being apologetic about it that the Ryder Cup doesn't do a lot for me. I don't mind, but I like the majors and blah blah blah. I turn it over there. And I watched them let it get away. I feel like it was bad luck. I know I'm not, but you just feel that way. They had an opportunity to, and then Henley knocked it. Was it Henley or who? I think Henley knocked it in close twice. And then roly-poly guy from Ireland. Lowry. He hit his in close. Henley missed. And then Lowry just nailed his. He was about 2 feet closer, and he just buried his. And that was it. The United States rallied. Did you watch any Ryder Cup?
I watched a decent amount Friday and Saturday. Yesterday, I did not. We had, obviously, Vikings in the morning. I had to work, and then basically nonstop kids' activities the rest of the day. So, did not see any of the Ryder Cup yesterday. And part of that, too, was... I assumed it was over, so I didn't even attempt to DVR it and watch it later at night.
There's only been 7 Sunday comebacks ever. The biggest was 4 points. So, this would have been...
Oh, it's massive.
This would have been, by leaps and bounds, the biggest comeback.
Well, I don't know how much you watch Friday and Saturday. I even think the commentators said this as well, and I would agree. As badly as Europe was beating the United States... I don't think the Americans were playing bad. I don't think it was like they are choking it away. I just think Europe was just playing at an insane level.
I made this statement based on nothing but, some people would say ignorance. It just on a gut feel. It just appears, and I'm assuming I'm wrong, but it seems like it means more to the European players than it does to the United States players. Do you think that's crazy?
Seeing their emotions the last 2 times, I don't disagree with that.
I just get that feeling that to them it means more to beat the USA than USA cares about beating Europe. But I might be wrong there.
Is our political divide now seeping into our sports?
Could be. I don't know.
We're not as united from an athletic standpoint.
And I might be wrong. They might want to win. Keegan Bradley was about to... McIlroy was on the verge of tears. Afterwards, Keegan Bradley was on the verge of tears. So I guess
he should have played.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight, yeah. Did we talk about that? I think probably the reason he didn't, even though he deserved to, I still think if you're the guy, the captain, and
it's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself.
I'm picking myself.
Yeah.
Like, Well, that's awful cocky. Oh, you're that good. You're going to dismiss the other players. And then if you take that spot and throw up all over your shoes and play badly, then it goes, well, that's a great choice.
Yeah.
The hell do you think you were doing? Or even if you play well and you lose because, well, I think he was distracted, you'd get those criticism, right? If he would have been just a captain, he was too distracted having to play and being a captain he made, which I don't believe. I think you can play and captain. I don't think it's that complicated. But I think there would be that. That would be what some of the critics would have said.
I think it's also easier to lead when you basically have the storyline of, I sacrificed my own spot in playing because I wanted to lead you guys and bring you all together, right?
That's true, too. Yeah.
Europe's golfers are just better.
Yes.
And the Ryder Cup just all comes down to putting. When you're playing those team things, the teams hitting the putts win.
This text messenger says Hatton was the roly-poly guy. I meant the roly-poly guy that hit the winning putt. Because wasn't the winning putt it was Lowry.
I know Lowry, had like birdie 18, didn't he?
I watched it. He says that Hatton did say it meant more to him to sink the winning putt than winning the Open in Ireland. No, that wasn't Hatton. Hatton didn't win the Open in Ireland. No, that was Shane Lowry. He won it in 2018 or 2019, and he's from Ireland, and he won it at Royal Portsmouth, Portsmouth, Portsworth, Portside, Starboard side. I don't remember where he won it. Tyrrell Hatton never won the Open Championship. He's a little roly-poly, but
Lowry was the one who hit the one to retain the cup.
Yeah, and he also won the Open Championship in Ireland back, was it 4 years ago? He won. Tyrrell Hatton has not won a major championship. Sorry. Tennis guy, stick to tennis. Because that was from Tennis Guy. Stick to tennis. I'm the unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf with a reserved parking space at Willinger's. I would know. Are you looking it up for me right now?
No, I was watching Lowry's putt again.
Oh. I thought you were looking up to make sure that it was...
Who won the Irish Open?
No. Who won the Open Championship when it was played in Ireland? It was Lowry. Hatton never won. It was like 2019 or 2020, 2021. I don't remember when it was. It was 4 or 5 years ago. Shane Lowry won his only major championship, and it was in his home country of Ireland. It was a joyous moment for everybody. There was blubbering going on. They were following him down the fairway. I watched it. I saw it happen. I'll just ask Google.
Shane Lowry won in 2019.
Yes, 2019.
At Royal Portrush.
Yes. Did Tyrrell Hatton ever win a major? No, he's not won a major championship in his career. Tennis guy. Stick to Rod Laver.
Maybe he's fishing.
Stick to Rod Laver. Stick to Bjorn Borg. McEnroe, Connors, and who are the guys nowadays? Lendl, no. Who are the best tennis players now?
Djokovic.
Stick to Djokovic. Nadal. Stick to those guys. Don't be, I'm the ambassador. The official, unofficial ambassador for Minnesota Golf. See what else I was going to say.
What do you think of the American crowd? I know Rory was very vocal about how basically like it's gone too far now.
That's New York.
With how ruckus the crowd is.
Well, that's especially New York. New York, they have a different attitude. First of all, again, maybe I'm talking out of my hindquarters. I get the feeling that New Yorkers think they're better than everybody, that New York's the greatest city in the world and everything revolves around New York. And they like having that hard edge that, like, we say what we want. We're
tough guys.
We're tough guys. We say what we want. We heckle people and we drink, and that's just the way Yeah, I heard that I think he bleeped them. I think McElroy did. I think he used some expletives and yelling back at him or describing how they behaved or whatever. And I
saw the video of someone throwing a bottle or a can off of his wife.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't see. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me at all. They have no They're unruly in their behavior, and that's putting it mildly. And they always have been that way. I remember, Rosie loves New York. He's made that perfectly clear. I remember I went to New York once back in 1989. My brother in there, he wanted to work. One of his very best friends lives there, like an investment bank or something. My brother's doing the college stand-up comedy tour. I'm with him, and we're going college to college, town to town, up and down the dial, doing comedy shows, one night after one night after one night after one night. And so we decided to make a stop in New York. We had a brief break, like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. So we took a break, and my brother wanted to work a couple comedy clubs in New York. And when I first got to New York, the first 2 days there, I thought, God, this city is so cool. I can see why people like it. It's the city that never sleeps, and this and then. By the third or fourth day, I couldn't wait to get out of it. I think it's a hellhole. It's dirty. It's crime ridden. I just don't like it, man. I don't know. Maybe there's other people that love it, but it does nothing for me. I don't ever need to go back.
I've only been there twice. The first time I did not enjoy it. And I actually liked it better the second time. I think what happened the first time was the first time I went to New York, I never realized how much, especially in Minnesota, I love green grass and trees, right? Like the air just feels different. I felt like the air there, because it's concrete jungle, right?
Yes.
Until you get to Central Park, there's nothing in sight that is green in any way, shape, or form. And I felt like the air was just kind of suffocating there. But I did like it better the second time I went.
The misunderstanding on the Ryder Cup is that Lowry retained the cup, assuring a tie with the previous country gets the tie, but happened to win it. Okay, yeah, right. But it was over.
Once you retain the cup, it's, yeah.
Then someone says the thrown beer was hit out of somebody's hands. So they're saying somebody smacked that out of somebody's hands. I don't know how it went down. I wasn't.
It's a heck of a smack.
That's a heck of a smack, and I wasn't there for it, and I don't know what to think about that. Mark Craig writes NFL for Fish Wrap Factory on the West Side, and he does this after every game. It's usually it's either late after the game or maybe it's always the Monday right after the game. But he writes a piece, and let me find it away. It's called, I had it here. Okay. Takeaways is by Ben Gessling.
Is it the 5 extra points?
Yeah, 5 extra points. Here it is, 5 extra points. Here's the stat that really stands out. Number one.
By the way, you haven't brought it up today, so I'm assuming you haven't read it. At some point in the next couple of days, you need to read the Joe Pohlad story at Star Tribune. It'll get you material.
Where was it? How did I?
Well, I read it today online. So I don't know if it's a couple days old, but it's.
Wentz pressured on 38.9% of dropbacks is 5 takes or
yes.
5 extra points. Down to 3 backups along the offensive line. No surprise. Vikings quarterback Carson Wentz was pressured on 21 of the 54 times he dropped back to pass, 38.9%. He completed 6 of 13 passes for 73 yards and a touchdown, was sacked 6 times and ran twice for 12 yards when pressured. He actually made the most of it. That's about all you could expect when you're getting pressured that much, right? And then he did mention this, and I don't think you and I talked about this. We're about to wrap up the show anyways. Second half, a different story. Steelers pass rush consumed Wentz, who completed just 1 of 6 passes under duress for 16 yards and a tutty while being sacked 4 times. Wentz's penalty for grounding with 38 seconds left came with a 16-yard loss and a 10-second runoff and led to some terrible clock management by O'Connell. And it was terrible, if you'll remember, Tinneby. As a matter of fact, Greg Olson, Craig brings this up and says, what are they doing? Greg Olson begged to know as the Vikings were flagged for their delay of game after Wentz spiked the ball on 3rd and 12 with 14 seconds left. They got a delay of game. That was just, I don't know. And I think they tried to explain it away as, well, the play clock, we were told minutes before the game, the play clock will not be where you would normally see the play clock in the NFL, where you're staring directly at it. When you're looking at the end zone, you can see the play clock, right? The quarterback can see it. Now, apparently he had to look over his shoulder to look at it up high or something like that. And apparently that was confusing to them, and that's why.
That one they got the play in late.
Well, that's what
play call was late, though.
That's exactly right. I think they were trying to...
I think if there's a downfall of KFC, and again, he's not the only head coach that's also an offensive coordinator, but when you're also trying to do the duties of a head coach while also having to come up with plays, seems like there's been a couple times this year where his play calls are getting in late, and that they've been kind of caught. So,
well, nonetheless, this is the last text message that came in. Great show, Common Antenna. Thank you. And I do appreciate that. Antenna, with that, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, I thought we did a bang-up job on a Monday. We certainly did. We enjoyed our visit with you today. Tomorrow we start at 1. PJ Flex Show at 12 noon. Mark Rosen makes his triumphant return just before 1 o'clock. Wednesday, jam-packed Rock Talk with Rock Rank at 12:30. Chip Scoggins, Fish Wrap Factory, West Side, 1 to 2, and then Rosen at 2 o'clock. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock if you wish. Stick around. Big Ticket, JG. They are next right here on The Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Boy, how disappointing is that?
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.